I don't think people are surprised when they find out that I'm doing something like this here. They are surprised when they walk through the door, though, because I don't think anything prepares you for what you find when you get inside.
I think the easiest thing I can say is I'm an artist.
Yeah, Cassette Lord's artwork kind of came from me working on the streets and working on murals, and yeah, sort of started doing the media cabinets around Brighton, went really well, and got recognised as sort of street art, and I just like whacked loads of it on boards and sold it and stuff, and yeah, it seemed to make people smile. So I was making sculptures out of cassettes at home, so I thought I'd make a costume made of cassettes. And about 2 in the morning, my mate came up to me, you know, after a few drinks, and he said, "Oh yeah, you Lord of Cassettes?" And I said, "Yes, I'm Cassette Lord."
Imagine you're on a computer, you got your hand on your mouse here, and you got your other hand doing nothing. So I'm going to the internet and they're going, "Will you want this download? Put down your name and address." And I was like, "Ugh." And this hand doing nothing, the first key was a Z. So when ZZ, ZZ, ZZ at ZZ, and then one day, one website said you can't have the same first name as second name, and I was quite right into that, so number 2's got the same shape as a Z.
We've shown this version with the One Dancer 4 times in Edinburgh, and we're showing it twice in Brighton, and then we're going to Algeria to show it 4 times in Algiers.
After numerous rehearsals, it's not that hard. The thing that's the hardest is the flashing lights in your eyes.
I filmed it in Kyoto, and I just got really interested in, you know, all the Japanese kind of culture, and there's kind of maybe it's influences from the cartoons and from, you know, it's quite sometimes like in Tokyo, wherever it's like really full on.
I started doing it about 3.5 years ago or something. Do you know, I can't even remember anymore. Let me just think. Yeah, I mean, I did the bathroom when I did the loft, and I did that sort of within about 1.5 years. To be part of the open houses and do something like this, it's kind of a logical thing to do because it's a house, and I'm an artist. The bathroom is the first piece I made for the ceramic house, so I had to tile it. And I thought, what have I got in my stock cupboard? In other words, what have I got left over from commissions? And I must have miscalculated and I made too many, so I had all these left over waiting to be used for something. I just decided to treat my house as a site and, you know, approach it in the same way I usually approach any of my public art jobs. So I decided it would be a really good idea to do this, partly to have a showcase of my work that people can actually come and see and touch. I designed this to go in an exhibition at the Phoenix. I really like having it here because this one's very tactile, and the good thing about my ceramics is, you know, I want people to touch it. You know, a lot of ceramics, you don't want people to touch it because you might break it. Every May I put an exhibition of ceramic art on here. It's just ceramics, and I won Best House this year, which we were thrilled about. We had a really fantastic show with 21 artists this year. As a result of that, we've decided to open up for Christmas for the first time. But I'm just preparing for that show now, and I've got 13 artists from as far away as Japan and Alaska are going to be in the show at Christmas time. This is the living room. Everything comes off all these surfaces. And then we have, you know, various different artists exhibiting in here. This is the utility room. Everyone's got an opinion about these, but I think it's quite nice that it sort of moves with you and it moves out into the garden. I've tiled the whole garden. And then the bench is actually left over from 2 courtyards I made in a hospital in Bristol. And these ones here were left over from a water feature. And they all came out of the kiln wrong. I had to remake the whole thing. It took me about 6 months. That's what happens with ceramics. You know, things go wrong. You've got to just suddenly remake everything.
I've done open house the past 3-4 years with a guy called Rod Clark, and he used to open his house. I used to throw some work in there. But I thought it was about time I organised something, so, you know, with the help of Kevin, we've got this place going, so yeah. Well, Beastie Toys is a name we developed for the group of artists that we brought together. We wanted to be quite like fun and playful, and it's kind of near Christmas now, so we thought, yeah, Beastie Toys, you know, it's got like a Japanese B-movie tip, like robots and monsters.
I work with stencils, basically, stencils and spray paint. I moved to Brighton about 10 years ago, and that's basically because of the art scene here. I came from London, but it's a very sort of closed doors in London. It's quite hard to get anywhere. So I came to Brighton, and basically that's when the whole dog thing started. I love dogs, basically. I was making anonymous models, so I didn't want them to be people. For me, the obvious choice was to make them dogs, just cut their heads off and stick a dog's head on instead. So that's when it became Funky Red Dog as I moved to Brighton and got into the kind of Brighton scene of how things work here.
I'm a stickler for detail. I love lots of detail and I get really involved in it, and that's my way of coming back to earth. I get into the frustrated details, and when I'm finished, everything is just simple compared to that. I started stencils with an ink roll, and not knowing it was an art form. I started doing the stencils simply because I could reproduce them. I started off showing my stuff with some metal sculptors. People go there expecting to see sculpture, and my work just got forgotten. But it's the second time when I've been around people who are similar styles of what I'm doing, and I'm getting a lot more into that sort of group.
Sometimes I'm working as a choreographer, sometimes as a composer, sometimes as a writer, completely separately. So in the recent pieces I'm doing here, I'm trying to combine these different sort of aspects together, along with the kind of filmmaking and the using the new technology and the 3D stuff.
I've started very visual with drawing and photography, mainly. Over the years I've studied design in Germany. And then I came to Brighton to study performing arts and art, what it's called dance and visual practice. So
there's no way how you and others will be able to forgive as long as you look at the world.
So from the visual aspect of photography, I went into making films, but also very visual performances later on.
The first piece I worked with Silke was where she just drew a drawing on the background, actually on a wall with chalk. And then I thought, it'd be really nice for me to be able to change that at a certain point in the piece, so that when the mood changes of the piece, then I could reflect that in having a different visual background. But the only way I could do that was to project. Thing I'm going to show it at is the open house in my house in Brighton, with the drawings exhibited as well. And it runs in a small space. It's my living room, and in a way some people prefer it because you can get very close. The actual projections are more high definition. I'm not having to project three dancers at once. I'm just projecting one, so I can turn the projector on its side.
For the first 3 years, it was just a case of inviting people whose work I liked or who I already knew. But it's changing now, and so next year I'm having a focus and a theme, and it's going to be Danish artists. I have got plans to do the front entranceway. Yeah, I want to do some kind of gateway from the street and then some sort of path. And I've got the other bathroom that I'm working on right now, and I've got lots of ideas for stained glass, which I keep saying I'm going to do, and I have never got time. But with this building behind me, I've got some ideas for that. So I've got a vision for it finishing, actually, but I don't know what I'm definitely going to do for any of those things yet.
More, and bigger and bigger and bigger. Just getting out there as much as I possibly can. So more exhibitions, but hopefully leading to more public work, basically. The more I can legitimise the work that I do in public, the better for me.
Yeah, it went fantastic in Algeria. Really nice audiences. Just completely never seen anything like it at all. Then in the end we won the prize of the jury for the festival. There was like about 28 dance companies there, and the dancer Jacqueline, who was in the Brighton show as well, you know, really performed brilliantly in there.
The good thing is I'm working together with Billy Cowie now, so he's asking me to create visual work for his 3D films, and I'm having to combine my personal expression with a certain framework, and so that's very good for me, because that way I have to explore the materials more, and I think that's very good because that will lead me maybe also to different papers, different ways of putting things down.
The big piece with the live dancers is going to be touring all over the place next year. It's going to Cuba, and then it's going to Egypt, and then it's going back to Japan and to Denmark and lots of other places. We might do another open house in the Brighton Festival. We've got some plans for new pieces that we're working on, but it'll probably take about another 2 years for them to come out.
The artist open houses have been going here for the longest out of anywhere in the country, over 30 years.
When I was here like 12, 15 years ago, I was in another part of England. I thought, no, I don't like it, but Brighton, yeah, I'm quite comfortable there.
A lot of people know about it. You know, people make a point of going to it every year.
Brighton is smaller than London. It's small enough for things like this to happen and for people to get involved with it. In London, you often feel that everyone's missing out on something.
I'm really, really happy to show my work finally here in Brighton. Lots of these drawings actually came into being here, and they were made while I was studying dance and visual practice here in Brighton.
Got a really good attitude, very progressive attitude towards art. Just letting people get out there and beautify the place, make it look nicer, make it look really exciting and surreal. Really, that's what people want from Brighton, I think.
It's one of those places that, you know, everyone loves. You know, all kinds of different people come here for lots of different reasons. Brighton's famous for, you know, having a lot of artists here, so it sort of fits in with what's going on here already. People are interested in art.
Communities feel a lot more understanding even from the non-artists. They understand that artists are here, they're around and what they do, so they don't have a problem with us at all.